from deep in the heart of the San Fernando Valley, it's Hanging with Dr. Z with Rusty Steele and the Steel Wheels. Tonight, Matt Braunger. This monkey means business. The doctor will see you now.
Whoa! Hello! Whoa! Thank you. Thank you very much. I haven't heard that much clapping since Gal Gadot went to Comic-Con in her invisible bloomers. So she's Wonder Woman. Good evening and welcome to Hanging with Dr. Z. I'm Dr. Z. And this is Rusty Steele and the Steel Wheels right over here. How are you, Rusty? How's it going?
I'm great, Dr. Z. Thanks for asking.
You look good. You look like you have a spring in your step.
I feel good. Finally found a charity that needed my help, and I'm very excited.
What are you working for?
It's the Make-A-Wish Man Foundation.
Make-A-Wish Foundation, you get a kid who isn't well, and you worry. That's fantastic.
Well, it's not a kid, but it's a Make-A-Wish Man. And I signed up, and he makes a lot of wishes, and I make them come true. And
well, normally he has one, and you do that because he's not well. Is that the situation?
Oh, I don't know if he's not well. I know that he has a lot of wishes.
But he's not sick.
I hope not. He's a nice guy.
Tell us one. What's one wish?
Well, he'll say, I wish you were a little boy. And then,
no.
So he bounces me around and stuff.
During the break, I'm going to put you on the phone with my lawyer, and I think we could have a conversation.
Yeah.
I have a charity that I've been working with. Yeah, it's great. We have a van, and we go into major cities, and we go down to Skid Row, and we find all the winos, and we pull them off Skid Row, and then we re-release them up into the wine country. It's beautiful to see them back in their own natural habitat, digging furrows and forming small communities. You'll be holding yourself with laughter tonight when you see the fabulous guests we have lined up. We have two amazing guests. Comedian and actor Matt Braunger is here. Came all the way from Los Feliz to be with us tonight. Drove himself, made his own clothes. And also, Captain Kangaroo himself, Bob Keeshan, is going to be out here to tell us of the horrors he witnessed in the killing fields of Cambodia. That's all coming up next. I'm Dr. Z. This is Rusty Steele. You're you. Let's try to make it work. Come on back.
Reading books to a child is not only educational, but provides precious memories that will last a lifetime. But with demanding jobs, travel, and church, who has time? Charles Nelson Riley, that's who. Yes, he is dead. But that was just a bump in the road to the engineers at Fuxley.
Hi everybody, it's me, Charles Nelson Riley. God rest my soul. Come and see me, the Charles Nelson Riley Hologram. I'm gonna be reading books to your kids while you wait in the car and scroll on your phone in a town near you.
It's entertainment legend Charles Nelson Riley, back from the grave and reading to your children through the miracle of Fuxtech holographic imaging.
I'm gonna read from the latest little Fuxley book, Our New Eggplant. I thought Mommy was pregnant. What a dumb thing to think.
Other Fuxley children's favorites include The Big Book of Debt, I Asked for a Pony, Animals Talk Shit About People, and The Snowman Who Had to Register with the Authorities when he moved to a new neighborhood.
Move over, Tupac. Look out, Roy Orbison. There's a new hologram in town. Charles Nelson Riley.
Charles Nelson Riley and your children. A match made in science heaven.
New from Fuxley. For a limited time, it's Hanging with Dr. Z Hot Rod T-shirts. A variety of colors. Red, blue, the other ones. A variety of sizes. Small, large, extra large, even medium. Also, mugs. Mugs. Mugs! Hot liquids, cold liquids. The Dr. Z mug holds them all. This is not a joke. We're really selling this stuff. Go to hangingwithdrz.com. Available now for a limited time.
My first guest tonight is an actor, writer, and comedian, or as we call them here in Hollywood, a double threat, because no one values comedians. Please welcome Matt Braunger.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Z.
My pleasure, man. I'm a fan.
What?
I'm not a fan of what you do.
Sure.
I'm a fan of who you are.
Thank you.
And you know the difference.
I do.
And you know the difference. And anyone who doesn't, Bonanza's on the other channel. Matt, Rusty, stand down, stand back, and stand by. You're my proud boy. Matt, question.
Hi, Rusty. Yes, sir.
You were on Mad TV.
I was.
Who did you hate?
Oh, God. The list is so long.
I would think.
Can we just put the cast up and all the writers and producers?
I always thought of Ard Marine as the devil in polyester pants.
I miss Wolf Marine so much.
Wolf Marine.
Because she would come out and just do a little can dance.
Sure.
And just destroy.
She knows where the bread is buttered, and she knows
does.
where the bread and the butter are. But you did study at Second City in Chicago.
I studied at the Annoyance and the Improv Olympic. So basically Second City adjacent.
With Del Close.
I did. Months before he kicked the bucket.
What's the deal with that man's skull?
Far as I know, they use it in productions of Hamlet and Oklahoma, I think.
And Barefoot in the Park.
Yeah.
Del Close, who was one of the founding members of the sort of Second City in Chicago Improv, donated his actual skull to the theater.
Yes.
That's not weird. All actors are lunatics.
Right. What was weird is that he cut it out himself.
You know why? Love of the game. The weird part to me is the school said, sure. Well, let me phrase it to you this way. What awaits us beyond the curtain of death?
From what I've heard, ravenous, furious clowns.
I have a hard time believing in the afterlife, unless it's described as a place of torment. And then
Sure.
I slide right into it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Rusty, which says, think about it, you could be in the afterlife now. Rusty died in 1953. He was a plumber in Cleveland.
Okay.
And now this is his hell. And we just get to benefit from it.
It's good to see you, Russ. Sorry.
It's okay.
You have a stand-up special named Doug.
I do.
And it's very funny.
Thank you, Dr. Z.
I watched it in the emergency room, waiting room,
Really?
waiting for the wife.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can't
I'm
get-
sorry to laugh.
I can't get into the details.
Okay.
Diverticulitis. But that's always the way.
Okay.
You know, there's something about women. You date them for years. It's beautiful.
Sure.
They get that rock on the finger.
Okay.
And the green stringy diarrhea comes out. It's always the way.
Of you or her?
Her. It's always the way.
So wait, so she's been holding back this green stringy diarrhea
I don't know
all
what it
this
is.
time?
I don't know what it is. But she didn't have diverticulitis when we were dating. We get married and she has diverticulitis. So I'm like, was this?
You said that as if it's a saying.
I've been gaslit.
Like, can't live with them, can't... you know.
Sure. Well, it's like her dating profile was headlined non-diverticulist. So I was excited.
Yeah.
And then,
Diarrhea, not a Mia.
thank you.
One of these?
Thank you.
Yeah.
The great Herb Albert.
That's half the Tinders I've swiped.
So what is Doug about?
Doug is called Doug. It's named after a terrible guy my wife and I met on vacation. And he was a guy who, he and his wife hated the fact that they had 3 kids and hated their jobs and were constantly drunk. The third part I have no problem with. It's vacation.
Drunk around the kids, never good.
Never good. And they weren't with them. Drunk.
They just didn't like the fact that the kids existed.
Yes, exactly. Doug, every time I saw him, was drunk and wet. Like he woke up in the
Sure.
frothy surf with a handle bottle of Captain Morgan.
I can only assume they're from Florida.
I never got where they were from, but the whole arc of the special is kind of being someone who's married late, had a kid late, and wouldn't have it any other way.
Sure.
In a sense.
When did you wrap the podcast
I wrapped it up a few months ago. It was called This Might Help. We did
Right.
exactly 100 episodes.
Oh, good for you.
In the end, it was far too much heavy lifting for just me and also doing the road and also doing other things.
Here's what I miss from podcasts. As you know, I had a very famous podcast called My Favorite B&E.
Of course.
It was just stories of famous attempted breaking and entering burglaries.
Yes, I love it.
I wrapped it. I miss talking about HelloFresh.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love the fact that I live in a country where people will eat something that a stranger left on their porch the night before.
Sure, yeah.
I've known you for too long.
Yeah.
I think the first time we met, we were both doing Celebrity Password.
Yes.
And it was the weekend of the Watergate break-in.
Uh-huh.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to go fly fishing with E. Howard Hunt, and he canceled with no explanation.
That's E.
There are people in this business that show up and they do it. And then there are people in this business that show up and they are it. And you are it. You don't have to do it. You don't have to try. You wake up and it's there. And the thing that's there is the flagship of the entire situation.
Yeah.
That we call what we do, how we do it, and when. And if you can't be there when that stuff happens, then I don't want to know who you're not.
Dr. Z, I'm going to give you a couple names. Jack Parr, Johnny Carson, Jay Leno, David Letterman, hacks compared to you, okay? Being on Letterman was the pinnacle of my life till right now.
Of course.
Till right now.
Of course.
It's Letterman, second, you first, birth of my child, distant third, and
that will fall. There's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy 4.
right.
And you're
of
going to
course.
be in line on opening night.
Sure. It's going to be so much better.
Sure.
Yes. To watch superheroes dance to a song from the 60s.
Right. It's
As if that's different.
It's a bigger deal.
It is.
Things come out of your body.
Yeah.
We have a special room in the house for it.
With a little bit of reserve, I have to say, and this compliment's going to blow your mind, you are nearly as good as Arsenio Hall. And I mean that with all my heart. I mean that. You know, for what, 3, 4 beautiful, wonderful years, everyone came together. Do you understand? Men, women, all the races.
Thank you.
I mean, I didn't just stay up late to watch Ice-T, you know?
I had this finger shortened in an attempt to separate myself.
Yeah.
And it's one of my biggest regrets. That and my Alan Hale tattoo.
Yeah.
Well, you can come back any time you want, and I will not. Well, Sweeps is coming up.
Sure.
But after that,
I get it.
then I go to Wimbledon. But when I'm back, anytime in the fall, anytime in that fallow period, call ahead of time.
Okay.
And if we have a spot or
Sure.
if someone cancels, let's say Pete Holmes cancels, I'll call you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Perfect. So let's say if Pete and I are up for the same job yet again, and Pete gets it yet again.
Sure.
Then I'll be free.
You'll be free. And if he wants to come and promote the job that he got because he gets it where you didn't,
Great,
but
sure.
gets in a flat tire, I'll call you.
And can I just tell you what an inspiration that he's been? Because he's the one who got me to exercise more, so we don't both look like a white guy grimace.
Matt Braunger, where are you going to be? Uncle Lucky's Chuckle Hutch? The Giggle Barn?
Yeah, giggle and sniff.
Giggle and Sniff?
Yeah, it's actually an underground club in Brooklyn. It's only illicit drugs.
The only clubs in Brooklyn are underground, from what I'm led to assuming.
It's true.
Giggle and Sniff's in Brooklyn, and you can follow him on all the social medias. You're still at Pete Holmes on all platforms.
Not Pete Holmes. It was the LA Pete Holmes, then he moved to LA, so it's not Pete Holmes.
I see, you were the LA Pete Holmes,
Yes.
and now he's the LA Pete Holmes. Matt Braunger, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow night, the Property Brothers will be here to form a human centipede, and Steely Dan's Donald Fagen will be here to play music, but mostly scare children. Rusty, play us out of here.
I'm sorry. Oh, God.
Oh!